Let's take control of money. With a budgeting program that gives families and businesses a smarter strategy to save thousands and control cash flow. As a business owner, get access to capital with our business funding options. And for our real estate investment funding, we help ensure deals get closed quickly and with confidence. Take control of money today at www.weinformconsulting.com. Financial freedom is everything, and We Inform is your partner in taking control of money.
All right, welcome everyone. Welcome. Good evening, and I appreciate your time. My name is Precious Johnson with We Inform, and I'm truly excited that you chose to spend your evening with us. Now, this won't be your typical first-time homebuyer webinar. While we might touch on some of those topics, tonight's focus is something even more powerful, a game-changing tool designed to help you master your money. We're talking about your financial GPS, a system that doesn't just help you budget better, but shows you how to pay off your debt faster, save thousands on interest, and reach your goals with a strategy and confidence. Now, I'm not alone in this. I'm joined with my partner, someone who lives and breathes this mission just like I do. He's been helping people just like you and I eliminate student loans, fast-track their journey and home ownership, and create simple systems to build real wealth. Please welcome the Money Mex guy himself, Rick.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks. I really appreciate saying that.
No problem.
Yeah. I'm happy that we actually do share the same mission. You know, home ownership is a big deal. Everybody wants to own. They want to got to get started somewhere in home ownership. And then they also like the idea of maybe even moving further down the line and somehow getting rental properties and developing the prosperity that they're really looking for. And so yeah, appreciate it. Let me go ahead and speak.
Yes, no problem. So today, I just want to go over what actually the Money Max account is and the background and how it came about. Because when I first heard about it, they didn't even have a system like this in place. So once I met you, how powerful it is, that's what I'm excited to talk about today.
Yeah, it is different. And so but it's trying to figure out who the audience is and what you're trying to actually share with them. What I can do is I can go ahead and kind of share the slides about what we do, what we talk about, so that people can actually see, what is like a financial GPS.
Mm-hmm.
What does the Money Max account actually do? And so let me go ahead and the first thing that I can tell you is that one of the most common things that I hear from people is, man, that sounds too good to be true. The second most common thing is, man, I wish I would have learned about this 20 years ago, right? And so, the whole idea is that what people get to learn about in finance today is really good, and it is true. In fact, we actually even guarantee it is what we do. And so there's no questions about what we're actually doing for clients. And so you notice right there on the thing, it says to join the revolution.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it for a minute. Precious, I mean, don't we all kind of dream of just waking up every morning free from the weight of financial stress?
Oh, yes, we do. I wish I can travel anytime I wanted to. Wish I could be in Dubai, the Bahamas, wherever I want to be.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what we try to do is we try to get everybody to picture themselves confidently planning vacations just like that, investing in their children's future, or maybe even embracing new adventures without worrying about debt or bills.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're talking about isn't really just a dream. I mean, this is a reality. And if you're willing to join the revolution, well, you can really have a transformed life. And so the whole idea, though, is making sure that we've got the audience that you're looking for, like I said. And so if I were to ask, out of all the people that are here tonight, how many of you would like to go ahead and find out something about becoming not just a homeowner, but a very confident homeowner, a different kind of homeowner? I'm sure that's everybody.
Exactly. Right? I'm sure it is everybody.
Yeah, I know.
At least they wish they could have bought right, or they want to buy another home.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The thing is that it's about, it's learning about money today. That's what it really is about. And when people can learn, we tend to focus on things like the interest rate.
Yeah.
That's what we focus on. And that's when we're talking about joining the revolution. We're talking about having a shift in what you focus on, which is the interest dollar. is the idea. Because rates can be deceiving, and I can show everybody that, in just a couple of minutes, just even with credit cards. The but the whole idea is that we know that there is one way people truly want to live, and that way is that they really want to live debt free. Yet one of the largest investments they're ever going to make is going to be the home, and at that point, it's kind of hard to see how we would ever live debt free. In fact, if you think about it, all the people that pretty much that we know, well, how many of them have ever paid their home off? I mean, there's a lot of people who are in their 60s and 70s still paying on their homes, right?
Right.
The average to pay off a mortgage today, a 30-year mortgage, the average time to pay it off is actually 42 years. And it's because we tend to refi somewhere along the lines in the home. We want to update the home. Yeah. And so but the thing is about financial freedom, it's the whole idea about it is it's basically, for me, it's the only thing that I know of that's really universally empowering. At its core, it means the ability to live life basically on your own terms, free from whatever financial constraints someone might have. It also means having that flexibility to pursue passions. Like when you were talking about travel, I was, okay, I believed you. Okay, she wants to go somewhere. But it's also, think about what it is to be able to go ahead and help out mom and dad, or mom and dad to be able to continue to help out their children. Mm-hmm. The whole idea is that if the money's right, we can actually make choices based on our values rather than on what our financial limitations. And that means that we can ultimately go ahead and create the future that we want, really one where money actually serves us instead of serving the banks. And so, but a little bit about us. In 1997, we were in the mortgage business. In fact, as you know, Precious, we were one of the largest mortgage companies in America. We were big in the mortgage industry. We won numerous awards for being in the industry. But the thing is that we started to see a trend, and the trend was that people were coming back to refi over and over and over. And now for the mortgage business, I'm going to tell you that's a bonanza. Okay, that's where you're really making money. So when rates dip, it tends to drive people to refi, and that's part of that business. The problem is that every time they would come back, they would have a new toy. They would have something brand new. I want to refi my home, but I want to put my RV in there, or I want to refi and I want to put my boat in there. And what it did is it started to develop this perpetual thing that just basically kept people serving the banks their entire lives. Even though we all had the best of intention, we stayed in debt until we were 60, 70, and sometimes even pass on, even still in debt. Well, we wanted to break the trend. And so what we did is we started to go ahead and search for something that might make a change in lives. And in 2004, as you know, we created actually the cure for debt. It's a banking algorithm. It's millions of lines of codes, $20 million in the making. And what we did is that we put together a banking algorithm that would actually show someone how they could regardless of the interest rate, how they could actually cancel out or keep for themselves 50, 60, sometimes even 70 and 80% of the interest.
Wow.
Even this week, I showed someone how they could keep 91% of the interest. And it's absolutely amazing. And that's why I love sharing it with folks. I know that's why you love sharing it as well. Yeah. And then today, it's a whole new thing where actually technology is now actually able to convert debt into wealth. Mm-hmm. So what? From my debt, I can also grow wealth? Absolutely. The system itself, Precious, you called it a financial GPS. You're 100% right. Mm-hmm. And so think about GPS for a minute. Okay. Now we don't care about, the 24 satellites roaming the earth, 15,000 miles. We don't care about any of that stuff. We care about is if we put an address in there, how do we get to go where we want to go? Right. That's the way. Yeah, the fastest way. That's exactly right. Because we're all addicted to ETA, aren't we? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so and the funny thing is on GPS, the ETA is based on the speed limit of the streets it's going to take you down. Mm-hmm. And so now, but here's the thing. How can it give you the directions? Well, it's those satellites. They know basically your coordinates is what they know. Well, and so in that way, it's able to just instantly map out what it would take for you to get to the destination. Well, imagine if you could have something like that for your money, though. Now, what? Yeah, what if you could have something like that for your money that actually automated banking thinking on your benefit? That you'd be able to go ahead and put in your coordinates, your financial coordinates. You'd be able to put in the creditors, the debt that you have, the interest rate that you have, the monthly payment that you're making. You'd be able to list out all of your expenses, regardless of what they are. Netflix, Hulu, we've got electric bills and grocery bills. And so the idea is that you've got this system that can actually take a look at that money and actually tell you what it means to you moving down the road. So in other words, the system itself is able to see what your income is, how frequently you receive it, how much you bring home. It's able to see all of the debt payments, all of the living expenses. And at the end of the month, it's actually able to provide you exact instructions to get to the destination that you want to go to financially, debt free. It even actually shows people how to actually manage the budget, all without them even thinking about it. And so it's like you plug in the numbers and it does the thinking for you, giving you the instructions. And the whole idea is this, and this is really the key point, is that it actually understands what you're going through financially in life. It can see how you're spending your money, the groceries, the medical procedures, the vacations for Precious, and then using only what it finds in cash flow provides actually perfect instructions to get you to the finish line on the fastest possible route. And the GPS for your vehicle, it's not guessing when it says turn left or turn right, right? And this financial GPS, it's not guessing either. The Money Max account knows exactly how much cash flow you have each month and the very best place to deploy it for the biggest impact of each dollar. That cash flow, whether it was a little bit or a lot, it will actually guide you on canceling the interest, that the scheduled interest that you're currently to pay on mortgages, student loans, car loans, credit cards. It doesn't matter what the debt is. If there's an interest rate, it can actually show you how to go ahead and cancel the majority of the interest on that. And it's all done through technology. And so, and I don't know if anybody's ever seen how much interest they owe, but like on a mortgage, it's enough to you'll be like, there's just no. Yeah, I know. And so, and the thing that we want to let everybody know is that actually financial freedom. So what do we do? How do we actually operate this financial GPS? Well, here's the crazy part about it is that all anybody does is they make their payments just like normal. You don't do anything different. Mm-hmm. You don't give them any extra money, even though you want to get it paid off quick. You don't give anybody any extra money. All you do is make regular minimum monthly payments. Live life just like you are today. The system itself, though, at the end of the month, would actually see what was left over. What did you have in cash flow? And that's what it's going to tell you. For instance, in this family's life right here, they had $259 of cash flow. Well, where would we normally send that? Well, it's pretty much a coin toss, right? We send a little here, maybe a little there. But the system knows mathematically how to cancel the majority of the interest each given month. And so, for instance, it could have said, like on the seventh day, this is actually, because this is a live client, this is actually what it said to them. $149.32. Now, who would have been thinking 32 cents, right? But because it's a banking algorithm, it was able to see everything right down to the penny. On the 16th day, it said to send $20.64 there. And then it actually sent an extra $43.11 to the student loan. But notice it was all about a particular day. So a financial GPS, it knows exactly who to give cash flow to. It knows the exact amount of cash flow to give to someone, and it knows the exact day to do it on for the maximum impact of every single dollar that someone has. That's what this system is. And if this family would have deployed that $259 right there, they would have kept $1,147 of interest for themselves, money that they earned that they didn't give up to the bank. And that's the uniqueness of the program. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah. Precious, I know a lot of the times when folks are looking to go ahead, first-time home buyers, the they actually do, when they're going through closing, they do see what the interest is. And what they really don't understand is how does that rate correlate to really the interest volume or the interest dollar? But today, we've got mortgages that are up around 6%. Depending on credit, it could be 7%. I mean, I just recently talked to someone that had 8%. But they still wanted to get a home.
Mhm.
But the thing is that what I like to, because it's just so fresh in my mind, somebody had a 7% mortgage this week, and a 7% mortgage inside of the mortgage payment itself is 91% interest. So if someone's got a 7% mortgage, and that's a 7%, what is that? It's not actually 7% interest. It's actually 7% APR, right? That's what we see there, annual percentage rate. And we don't really know what it means. We think, so we just say 7% interest, but it's just so much more interest than that. And when people actually look at the dollars, they're like astonished.
Mhm.
But about it, if you knew out that $910 out of your $1,000 payment was interest, and you could keep just half, wouldn't you be happy?
I would definitely be happy.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I know. And that's what we really, of course, you've seen some of the results of what we do for folks. And so it is, it's so life changing. In our 21 years of business, we've got more than 80,000 active users. Is what we've got today. And, in our 21 years, we've eliminated more than $2.7 billion of debt for consumers. So, I mean, think about how much money we get rid of for them. It's absolutely mind-boggling, is what it is. Today we've got, a little over 10 billion under management. People all over the country trying to figure out, hey, how do I get out of debt? What do I do? Or how do I get into debt and then get out of debt, basically? In other words, if I want to buy a home, do I have to pay on a home 30 years? Well, no. Now, our parents did, right? I did when I was younger. I had to, because we didn't have the technology that we have today. And the whole idea is that people can actually have transparency with their money, is what they can have today. And so they can see some things about the dollars that they're spending, and they can make a complete difference in their lives if they know what to do with it. For instance, let me go ahead and show you what it looks like.
Yeah, just take us over a quick example. Thank you, thank you. Just show us how the program actually looks, and just to kind of sneak peek into what they would actually get.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm happy to. And so this is actually called the action plan right here. You see the highlighted tab. This is like Command Central. It's where we do everything from. And I mean, I want you to just think about numbers on a spreadsheet. Okay, numbers on a spreadsheet are static, right? They can tell you where you are right now. They can tell you where you've been, but they can't tell you how to get to a destination of where you want to go to. They can't do that. This here, on the other hand, is like a spreadsheet, except for that it's dynamic. So every line can be clicked on and unclicked. Every line has things that can be done to it or not done to it. So as a matter of fact, you can skip a payment, you can close a budget, you can do all kinds of things. But there's videos that are right here built into the system that walk everybody through actually using the program. It is so simple. And when you really see what it really is, it's just mind-boggling. These blue tiles across the top are constantly adjusting. And like here, you see that on December 2nd, right now, today, this family is scheduled to be basically debt-free on 12/2/2036. That's 11.8 years. They will keep $150,000 of the interest that they were actually getting ready to spend on their mortgage. And as they start to use the program, you start to see it actually total up over here, how much they've canceled. It's pretty amazing to be able to see. And this is, I think, the part that makes it so unique. And because it's so, remember, we were talking about financial coordinates. It's so dialed into who the user is that it actually knows this. It knows, like, not only the days that someone's supposed to get paid. These green numbers mean someone's got some money coming in. That it can be adjusted. There can be somebody that's on commission and the money changes all the time, or maybe you miss a shift, or maybe you get an extra shift, or maybe you get a tax return. So the system sees every single thing that's taking place in it, is what it sees. So the blue numbers are payments. The black numbers are living expenses like groceries and fuel for the vehicle, insurance, things like that. But all of the dates are all your dates. They're all customized to the individual. So all you do then is just pay your regular bills on your regular dates. There's nothing more to it than that. And so, huh?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
From what you're showing me this is how my situation looks as it is now. Like
That's
this is everything that I have going on in my life right now. What if I want to start planning for the future? Can this help me do that?
It can. It can definitely help you plan for the future. Let me show you one of the other things before, and I will show you something on that too. So let me show them one other thing before I do.
Okay.
Notice down the middle here, these arrows. Well, what is this? This is financial GPS. That's what this is. So GPS will take you any place you want to go in the entire world. It's accurate to with 1/4 of an inch, and it does it with just 3 simple instructions: left turn, right turn, U-turn. This will take you to any financial destination that you want to go to, whether it was to become a home buyer or to go, maybe you want to become a second home buyer, right? Buy a rental property. And so it'll take you through any financial situation that you're trying to work through. It doesn't matter what it is. The whole idea is the system will see the income, it will see the bills being paid out, and it will be able to tell someone exactly what to do with their cash flow. For instance, at the end of January, this is, you can see it's in demo mode, so it's showing it behind right now. But at the end of January, this is what they had inside of their bank accounts right there. It was checking and savings right there. And so then he got paid right here, and it said, well, look what's happening. The mortgage was going to be paid, and the signature loan was going to be paid. The other stuff was going to be a little later in the month, but these here were not part of their regular monthly bills. This wasn't it. This was the system identifying cash flow and telling this family exactly what to do with it. So it doesn't drain out bank accounts, and I'll show you. But for instance, when he got paid, what it said that, look, you can move. He got money, went to his checking. It says that from your checking, you can go ahead and give your savings account $232.25. So it knows exactly right down to the penny how much you can go ahead and move over to savings. Then it said from your savings account, which they already had some money in there, you can take $1,241.14 right down to the penny. And it says that you can apply it to MasterCard. Blue and blue is always about accumulating interest. Blue and green is always about paying off debt. There's also red, and red is always about an alert about you'll need some money in a few days to go ahead and pay a future bill. So it's completely insightful, always dynamic, telling you exactly what to do with your money. And I want to tell people why. All right. For instance, when Precious, when someone wants to go ahead and pay extra money, they got some extra money, and they want to pay extra money on maybe one of their credit cards or their mortgage or the car or whatever the debt is. Who do they send it to? If they've got, let's say you got a 6% car loan, 6% mortgage, 6% student debt, 6% credit card, and you got an extra $100. Who gets the 100?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. Who's supposed to get it?
That's exactly
go in the
right.
bank account or go to some food or something.
That's exactly right. That's the whole idea. Well, but usually that goes down to a coin toss, is what it really does, right? Honey, what do you think? I don't know, honey, what do you think? Kind of thing. But the system, when someone gets it, they get it on automatic. But let's say that they want to get rid of the signature loan. It was the smallest balance, and maybe they want to get rid of it. They're trying to do the Dave Ramsey snowball thing, and so the system instantly updates. But one of the features about transparency with money is that if you actually can look behind this line. And so if I were to actually execute that, I can see that by applying that extra money to the signature loan. Now, this was the cash flow that the system saw that they could use. All right, is what it saw. And so it saw $1,241.14 that could be used, it could be deployed, and it would save $285 of interest for them, is what it would do. And so, and that, and I don't know how people feel about it, but I mean, think about it. The idea that I can not only get out of debt soon, but I can actually know exactly what's going on and what I'm actually saving moment by moment. The but this is the reason why people need a financial GPS. Okay, let me show you. The system actually identified something else with that money, right? Is what it did. And so let me put this back on automatic. The system had actually recommended MasterCard. And if I were to look behind the MasterCard, I can see that they could have actually saved $1,930. So canceling interest shrinks your timeline, is what it does. And so if you only cancel a little interest, like Snowball's not thinking about canceling interest. And so if you're only canceling a little interest, like in this family, that means that they would have made a $1,600 financial mistake. And so they'll end up paying $1,600 more dollars on their debt than they would have needed to pay. And so that was just in the 1 month. What if we had another $100 next month, or what if we had another $1,200 next month? I mean, how many mistakes can we make financially? And what does it mean? It means you stay in debt longer. And that's what we're trying to not do. We're not trying to stay in debt longer. So Money Max is all about people wanting to get out of debt quick. And, and for this family right here, they're going to get rid of, and they don't have a ton of debt, but you can see what it is right here. They got a $25,000 car loan. They got $5,500 on a credit card. They got the signature loan. They were thinking about snowballing that, right? And then they got a $200,000 mortgage at 6%. But look at this. Every one of these is the same way. They haven't even made one payment on it yet. So this is a brand new 30-year mortgage. It's a brand new $25,000 car loan. We just put $5,500 on that card. And so all of this is brand new, have not even made one payment, yet they'll get rid of a 30-year mortgage in only 11 years. How are they doing that? Well, when we hear that, the first thing we're thinking is that, well, they got a lot of money and they're chunking money. That's what they must be doing, right? But right here, Precious, this is what you're talking about. The system sees exactly what your financial coordinates are. For this family right here, it can see their income and it knows when it's coming in. It knows how much it is. And it can change. And all they do is tell the system of the change. And so it sees what they're doing for food and dining out, bills. They put a lot of stuff on a credit card and then just pay the credit card off at the end of the month is what this family does. But look at this. They're knocking out 19 years of mortgage payments, but this family's only got $300 of cash flow. How do they do that? How do you take $300 and make 19 years of payments go away? Well, leveraging technology. What we need to know is that who do we give the money to, right? We need to know the exact amount of money that we need to give, and we need to know the exact day to do it on for the biggest impact of every dollar. That's what the system's doing. And so now you were saying something. Now this family's already got a mortgage, and you were saying that like something about forecasting. Right. And so so like for instance, so what would it do to their debt timeline if something like either came up or maybe they like needed to get a car? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I was saying get a car because maybe their current car went down and they need to buy another one, or simple things like that, because you never know what life happens. So
Sure.
things
Yeah.
happen to cars, so now they need to get a new one. So they need to forecast how that would look in their new budget with what they have going on. So maybe like a $30,000 car,
Okay.
6% interest for 7 years. What does that look like?
I can put that in here and take a look at it. Now that right there, now you know what? That might be a big stretch for this family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because look, they've only got $300 of cash flow, right? And so, but if somebody does get a new bill, okay, that they want to be able to go ahead and put in here. And look, actually, I can just show you one change right now, just really quick, and I'll show you why. What if her money, instead of getting paid monthly, okay, what if that gets changed around? All of a sudden, the budget type is actually, whoops, man, my mouse is like, what if it's really a bi-weekly, is what that is. And so, and look at the difference just in how money gets paid. Hang on a second. Okay, did I just click on something? That's not what's going to happen. Hang on a second. Oh, I know what I did. Yeah, it's not bad. She was getting half of this. She's getting half of it is what she's getting. Okay, so that is going to be 1260. Look, just by that, just by how she got paid differently, it went from 11.8 to 10.4.
Mm-hmm.
And all that did was change their cash flow. Just actually, it was three something. Yeah, now it's just five something. Yeah, so only change their cash flow a little bit, but all of a sudden they're making a huge stride on what's going on for them financially.
Right.
And so if they were going to add in like a new vehicle, okay, there's this headphone down here. There's a phone number that our clients get to call, and they can tell them that, hey, I'd like to add a new vehicle to my MoneyMax account. And what we do is that we join them on Zoom, just like this right here, like we're doing now. And so we just go ahead and we walk them through it, and we show them how to go ahead and add a new loan.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll say that it was a car. And thank goodness Chase was there. And it was a $30,000 car at 6%. And we were going to finance it for 84 months. Inside of here, it can actually even tell me what the payments are going to be. So I can actually see it right there. So I'll just say 439. And we know that that'll get rid of it. So let's say that they're going to start it for next month, okay? And let's go ahead, take that over here and save that. Oops. Uh-oh. What did I do? Oh, no statement thing. Oh, yeah. Okay. Move it back. Look at this. They were going to be debt free, basically 10.8 or 11.8, right?
Mm-hmm.
One adjustment to their pay. Now I just put in another $30,000 piece of debt. And so, and it barely changed at all. It barely changed anything.
That is amazing. You only added two more years to
Yeah, what they were thinking was going to be a 7-year loan. Right. Exactly. And again, this is getting rid of the mortgage, 2 car loans.
Mm-hmm.
And what if they wanted to buy a rental property?
Exactly.
You know, now I'd have to look. We saw what their cash flow was. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if they could actually afford a rental property, but we show clients how they can actually acquire 15 rental properties and have them all paid for in 20 years. But let me just see if I can make this one go in here. We'll throw in a rental. We'll do Chase again.
Chase is amazing.
Yeah, I know. I do know. We'll say 250,000 per home. Now, well, you know what? We'll do 7% because it's a rental for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
The payment on that's going to be, come on, around 1664
Mm-hmm.
is what it would be. And we'll say that when are they going to do that? We'll say next year.
Next year, yep, sounds good.
Okay. When do they want to do it? In January? They want to do it in January of next year, start the year off right?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. And so they're going to start making a mortgage payment in January right there of 2026. Let's go ahead and get this down here to December. Right there. Yeah. So now I just added in a rental property. Oh, and look what it says. Now this is super interesting. It says your expenses exceed your available funds beginning on July 1st of 2027. Now, if you first saw that, what would you be thinking? Be thinking panic.
Right. A little bit. I have no money. I can't do it. What's going on?
Exactly. But what it means is that means that you would have had 26 months to find a renter. You'd have more than 2 years to find a renter. I mean, it's a whole lot easier to find a renter than 26 months worth, right? But even the point is, though, that on $500 of cash flow, it actually knew how to manage their debt, including getting a new car and actually managing even this new property for 26 months without them being in any financial trouble whatsoever. They're still eating groceries. every day. Okay, we're particular about that, right? They're still driving their cars and putting fuel in them. They're still paying for their insurance. They're still getting their kids braces. They're still doing all the things that they needed to do in life, but they're getting to eliminate the two 30-year mortgages is what they're going to do. And let me show you how quickly. The national average on rent is $2,200 a month. And depending on where you are, you might rent it for more. Like in my area, it's going to be more like 2,500. But even if it was $2,200 is all it was, and you started renting it in February of 2026, if that's all you did, $14 years. In 14 years, you would have paid off your home. You would have paid off two vehicles, your credit card, your signature loan. You would have also you would have had a renter that completely paid off a rental property. I mean, in less than 2 years after you were going to be paying yours off. And so, I mean, think about what that means. The idea of being able to acquire, and I could do this all over again. The idea of actually being able to go ahead and finance your lives. We all know use somebody else's money. Everybody knows that. Get into business, other people's money. Buy a home, you're using someone else's money. Get a car, you're using someone else's money. Right. And we end up living our life by the payment is what we do. And the banks are counting on people doing that. They're counting on it to do that. And it's absolutely horrible that they would do that. But it's what they do. And people, they'll go into a car lot and they'll tell them, hey, I want to spend $350 a month. They'll find you a car and they'll make a lot of profit, but they'll find you a car that's $350. That way you feel comfortable because you're happy with the payment. But it's just, it just means that we're giving a ton of money away to the bank when we don't have to. These people now would keep $339,000 of the interest. They're actually already scheduled to pay. They'll be able to keep $339,000 of that money is what they'd be able to keep. And so it's just astonishing what it can do. And the idea that they could continue on this right here and they could continue to add rental properties in if they would like to. But the whole idea is about what we were talking about in the beginning, right? It's that anybody can actually, today, technology is out there to allow anybody to pay off a mortgage 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, even a brand spanking new 30-year mortgage. And actually on that rental, I put an ugly interest rate on there on purpose, right? I put an ugly interest rate in there. If somebody would have got a decent rate, they could have paid off a whole lot quicker. But I love making it look ugly because you can cancel the interest today. You can leverage financial technology, something that will actually take a look at what your income is, what your outgo is, all of it. And after all the bills have been paid, all the groceries have been bought, the lights are still on, it sees the cash flow and it knows exactly what to do with it. And it gives you specific instructions month in and month out of exactly what to do with that money for the biggest impact that you can have. And so it is just absolutely mind-boggling at what people can have today. And so let me switch back over and show people what we were talking about before. We were talking about this. We were talking about transparency with money, right? That's what we were talking about. It's that anybody can have transparency with money. Hang on a second here. Let me put it back in my view. There we go. And so it's simple to use. It comes with all the financial education. We have weekly webinars where we continue to teach people. We're on YouTube where we teach people how to use the program. And we couldn't make it more simple. There's a phone call, that we're right on the action plan. Just call us right here. You can actually even live chat us. And coming out this year, we've got a mobile app that'll be out so that right there in the palm of your hand, you've actually got something that you could actually know. So, and what that means is this, Precious, you're at the car dealership. You're at the car dealership and they're telling you that the car is going to be 7% interest and it's going to be $500 a month, you're actually right in your hand. You can put that information in to know what it's going to mean for you to go ahead and make that move. I mean, never before has anybody ever had anything that's this kind of power, financial power for their lives. Nobody's ever had it. We're the only company in America today that has something like, and we have won numerous, I mean, I am telling you, numerous awards for what we do. US Bank, Wells Fargo Bank have highly recommended us before. I mean, we're A+ rated through the Better Business Bureau. We're in 21 years of business, we've still got 4.9 stars. I mean, it's like we're in the financial business, we're total rock stars, is what we are. And so and anybody can have the future that they want to have. And so the big thing about it too is this right here, is that we actually make promises, is what we do. Number one, we are zero risk. There's no risk whatsoever. This is a banking algorithm that understands money right down to the penny. This is no different than your banks. Although they're trying to take the most amount of interest, there's literally no magic involved in this thing. This is all math, 100%. It's highly complicated math. It involves a lot of X's and Y's and squares and things. It involves a lot of stuff, a lot of buttons that you can't find on the calculator. And it comes with 100% money back guarantee. It's going to do exactly what we tell people it's going to do. And we even have benchmarks built in. We say by the end of your first year, this is where you'll be. By the end of your second year, this is where you'll be. And if you're not, we'd refund your money. But we know where you'll be. All you have to do is just tell the system what came in, what went out. It'll see what's left. It'll give you the exact instructions. And that's all you've got to do. And as I mentioned before, it's live coaching. They get to work with somebody, basically what we call certified field trainers, people that are experts in using the program. And we don't charge for it. It's free. And so we do everything we can to be able to go ahead and make sure that someone is getting the results that they're going to go ahead, that they want to achieve, whether it was eliminating debt or maybe adding rental properties in and growing well. We've got clients everywhere that say, if you look us up, you're going to see some reviews that people are going to be telling you that it's life-changing. And it's not me saying it. It's not Miss Precious saying it. It's tens of thousands of people across America saying that, hey, what you need to do is you need to go ahead and keep all that interest, and not a little. Again, 50, 60, 70, sometimes even 80 and even 90% of the interest you can actually keep. You don't have to give it away. You all know it actually says on your loan documents that there's no prepayment penalty, which means you can pay it off early and you don't have to pay all the interest. And then right below it, they give you the instructions, right? Mm-hmm. No, they don't give instructions. Banks never give instructions, but guess what? We are. Where you give instructions is what we do. We show you exactly how to go ahead and use that clause to your benefit. So and this is what we're trying to give everybody. We're trying to give them a personal savings report. And this is it. The idea that you can wake up in the morning and be completely free from stress is what you can be, because you would know that you are on the fastest possible route to go ahead and completely eliminate your debt or to grow the wealth that you want to grow. And what we do is that we collect some data, is what we collect. And we ask you it's non-invasive. So what we do ask, what's the balance on your mortgage? What's the interest rate? What's the payment? What's the escrow? What's the balance on your credit card? What's the minimum payment? What's the interest rate? We plug all that information in there, and it gives us back these results right here. And we don't charge you for that either. We want to give it to you. We want everybody to see what is possible for them. I mean, and when you finally see what can really happen for you, it is mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling about what kind of success you can actually have here. And think about it. Again, it's going to do all the thinking. For this family right here, they still had 28 and a half years to go on their mortgage, is what they had. But using this program, they'd be completely debt-free in 8 years. 8 years, 28 years. I mean, they're going to knock out 20 years of payments. With what? They're keeping almost 70% of the interest is what they're going to do. And they only had $149 cash flow. So they don't have a ton of money. That's not what they've got. They're not saving a bunch of money for their future with only $149 left. They just need to know how to pay the bills. is what they need to know. And again, it's not the regular bills; those put them on auto pay, right? But what happens with the found money? What happens with the cash flow? And this family can actually, even with only $149 of cash flow, if they would have been canceling the interest and using the money appropriately in the same 28 years that they were going to go ahead and pay off the mortgage, we could have shown them how to put together more than $3 million in their savings account. And we change lives. That QR code right there is basically a way that you can find out and you can get your own personal savings report. It's going to ask you to go ahead and give some information up right there. It's going to ask you to put your name and your email and your phone number. And someone's going to reach out to you to go ahead and schedule an appointment to go ahead and they're going to send you a worksheet. And we're going to go ahead and put this together for you. And so that you can have and see what the system might be able to do for you. But the question is this: should you automate your thinking? Should you automate your banking thinking? Today technology has changed everything about our lives. From the cars we're driving, electric cars all over the highways, even self-driving cars all over the highways. I mean, that's like a total Jetson kind of moment. And so smartphones, just that we never seem to put down nowadays. I mean, everything is changing, and it always changes it to make it easier for you. Today, it's actually changing how folks eliminate debt or grow wealth. And again, it's that anybody can have the future that they're really looking for. What we don't do any refinancing. There's no debt snowball. There's no avalanche. There's no debt settlement. There's no loan modifications. In fact, you don't even change your lifestyle. If you like Starbucks, keep going. The system just wants to be able to go ahead and see whatever the cash flow is. And this is where I get to go ahead and answer some questions. And we're able to see the questions as they come through in the chat. And so, like right here, I like this one, man. Somebody started off right away. Precious, like the first question is, how much is it? So it's like,
Exactly.
like everybody get down to the
Let me
money.
know the price. What's my investment? How do I know if this is right for me?
Yeah, I know. And I'm going to tell you, the price is almost like buying some life insurance. It depends on how old you are, whether or not you were healthy, whether you're a smoker or not, and that's kind of like what it is with us too. It fluctuates for every client, and because it's an algorithm, it sees what kind of timeline it's going to take. It sees how much interest it's going to help them keep, and so the price varies for everybody. But I'll tell you right now, though, for folks that have a mortgage, it might be a mortgage payment, maybe a mortgage payment, maybe two of them. And so imagine if it was two mortgage payments and you canceled 20 years of mortgage payment. If your bank called you today and said, hey, if you'll bring me two mortgage payments, we'll knock off 20 years, you'd take off work. Is what you do. You might miss your child's event at school. I'll see the next one. But that's usually what it is. And if they don't have a mortgage, it's even less. It would be even less. Although I will tell you, though, a lot of clients actually, because we don't say no to anybody, so we actually even allow them to have actually payment plans on it if they wanted to. Because we're not going to say no to anybody. I mean, we're on a mission to go ahead and rescue America. It's one family at a time, but we're going to win. People need to learn to be able to go ahead and keep their money, and we're going to continue the march, continue to do it. So let me see, what else does it say here? Okay, how does it work? Okay, well that's okay. I'm going to get better on explaining this, but this is really how it actually works. Everybody here has income, and frequency of the income and how much the income is inside of the frequency can change every single month, just like our living expenses can change every month. Groceries are higher or lower, gas for the vehicle is higher or lower, things like that. Kids had an event at school, you had a fundraiser, you had to pay some money, whatever it was. So the whole idea is that the monthly debt bills, okay, car loans, mortgages, things like that, they stay the same every month, right? But everything else is in a state of flux. It's always changing. It's always moving around. And that's why we don't really know what to do with it all. Well, the system is able to see all that movement. It's able to see all that moving around. And so we simply confirm what took place at the bank. If you saw that the bank was a deposit of 21, 21, 21, you tell the system, yep, that's what it was, 21, 21, 21, and sees that. And so, and if it's solid, if it was the same the next payday, great. If it was different, you just tell it what it was. That's all you do. And so then it sees the income coming in for the month. It sees you making your basically your debt payments, and then it sees how you're doing your living expenses through the month. Did you put, you might have had all these on auto pay on a credit card and then paid it off at the end of the month, or or it can be as detailed as you want it to be as well. If you, hey, I do this one from this credit card, this one from that credit card, I do, depending on how, because some people play credit card shuffle, right? And so you can do all of that inside of the system, but the system at the end of the month will end up seeing whatever cash flow is left over. And there are only three things that we can do with this cash flow. You can spend it on yourself, which is fine. You earned it. You deserve to spend some of it on yourself, right? Yeah, you can go ahead and save it for a rainy day. Just don't put it in the bank, because if you do, they're just going to, monetize your money, and they're not going to pay you anything for it. But you can save it if you want. It's better to put it under the mattress. Or you can deploy it. And deploying it means that you can either go make it go to work for you, is what you do. So it's going to go to work either canceling interest. Canceling interest is increasing your net worth all by itself. It's money that you're going to earn that you didn't pay out. You're just going to save it up. Or you deploy it to go ahead and grow wealth. In other words, you want to learn how do I do infinite banking? How do I leverage some kind of like IUL or whole life policy to grow wealth, tax-free wealth? How do I do that? Or how do I buy rental property? Or how do I buy lately I've talked to some people that have been doing Turo, or they've been buying cars and they rent these cars out to folks, is what they do. And so how do I do all of that? Well, the system recognizes every bit of that. And at the end of the month, it tells you exactly what to do with the money. Hey, on this day, do this, on that day, do that. And on this other day, do this other thing. That's what it tells you. Exact instructions. And it will even show you how much interest you'll keep by doing it. Follow the instructions, and here's how much interest you keep. Well, sending extra money in each month, what we were trying to do is we were trying to get rid of the interest. The problem is that we don't know where it goes, and we just guess with the money. And we tend to guess wrong, is what we tend to do, because we tend to guess snowball. Snowball has nothing to do with saving interest. So we guess at the wrong one, which means we're deploying it to somewhere where it's barely making any effect whatsoever. And we just don't realize it. We think that we're making some headway. The other thing is that there's something that credit card companies, something that they do that really should be illegal, honestly. And let me see if I can go find that real quick, and I'll see if I can show you what I mean there. No, that wasn't the one I wanted to do. Let me go find another one. I'll be right back. Talk to him, Miss Precious. Talk to him for me.
So yeah, just like you were saying, the tool is powerful in helping you cancel out debt and manage your life in a way is comfortable for you, showing you exactly step-by-step guide on where you need to make your payments, how you need to make your payments, where you need to transfer money into bank accounts, and just monitoring everything that's coming in. And as you saw in the example, it said you can, if you're making your paychecks monthly, bi-weekly, you can adjust the system to benefit or to just how your life is set up. So it can show you everything and how everything works, and just cancel. And the main thing is just focus on how to cancel out that debt faster and soon as possible. I see you have something pulled up for us now.
Yeah, it timed out on me, but that's what I was doing. I'm gonna show them something about credit cards and why people can't get out of a credit card, and they can stay in credit cards forever. But when I'm evaluating money, this is what I end up doing. And so, for instance, like I'm going to put Discover. All right. Again, most people don't even know how payment is calculated. I'll share it with you right now. So we'll say that that's what they've got on the card, and it's got the $10,000 limit, or even 85, doesn't matter. It's a Discover card. They've always got like a low interest rate is what they've got. The Well, so how is a payment calculated? Well, what you do is you take the balance of the card, okay, and then you multiply it times the interest rate is what you do. And then you divide that number by 12, and that's what your monthly interest is going to be. Now, how do they get the payment? Well, you take the monthly interest plus some percentage of the balance is what you do. Now, the percentage of balance, it used to be that it had some law, by law, it had some windows that you had to fall in. So it had to be by law somewhere between 1% and 5%. 5% meant that your payment was going to be bigger, okay, because you're giving back 5% of the principal. 1% meant that your payment was going to be smaller because you're only giving back 1% of the principal. And so the higher the number, the better for the consumer. The lower the number, the better for the bank, right? And so for instance, if it was at 1%, then for this card, it says that the interest would be $154 and their payment would be $239. And that right there is what? Is that 21.7? Is that 21.74? Well, if we took $154.35 and we divided it by $239.55, we'd see that it's not 21%. It's actually 64.4. How? Because it's not just the rate. On a credit card, if you look at your statement, there's also something called the daily periodic rate. And so so there's something that we're not familiar with on how we go ahead and calculate that payment. Well, when COVID came, the Congress told the banks that, hey, look, what we need to do is we need to don't report people for not making payments. Man, they're down and out right now. And so don't report them for not making payments. And the bank said, okay, we won't if you'll let us do something. And they said, what? What we want to do is we want to be able to go lower than this right here. And today there are credit cards that are now allowed to go as low as 0.25. And so look at this payment, $239. I just told you 60% interest, right? That's what that is. But now they're allowed to go down to 0.25. So your payment went down though, right? You might be happy. Whoa, man, my payment went down. But look, it's $154 of interest still. And now your payment's only $175. You've only got $21 going against $8,500. So here's a 21% card that looks good on the surface, right? 154.35 divided by 175.65. So when does 21.74 equal 87% interest dollars? When you have a Discover card. That's when. Discover is generally always down around here. And so they give great limits, they give very low interest rates, but not 21%. No, almost 90% is what you really are paying in interest. And they've got a way that they're able to cloak that. Well, it happens all the time. And this is again the reason why they can't, a lot of people are trying to get their debt to income ratio in line, right? So that they can buy a home. And they have such a struggle with it because of where they've got their debt is sitting in credit cards. And they don't know how to navigate a credit card or how to defeat a credit card. And, in credit cards, they close we'll say like on the last day. Here's a perfect example. It closes on the last day of the month, but your payment's not due for 25 days, right? And so, but on the last day of the month, it kicks out a payment because it can't charge interest on a payment. So let's say that this card is accumulating some interest when? Day 1, day 2, there's more interest. Day 3, there's more interest. There's that daily periodic rate. Day 4, there's more interest. Day 5, there's more interest. Day 6, and so on and so on and so on. So let's say it's accumulating just $1 of interest a day. 30 days, $30 of interest. But now you decided that you want to go ahead and send them an extra $10. When did you send it? Did you send it over here at the due date? Well, if it was accumulating $1 of interest, an extra $1 a day, at day 10, you broke even, which means your extra $10 was worthless. If you paid it on day 11, you're your balance went up by $1. If you paid it on day 12, it went up by $2. And so knowing even when to pay makes a huge difference when you're trying to affect your debt to income ratio. And again, it's all about cash flow. This system knows how to maximize the use of the cash flow. And so that's the idea. And so it doesn't matter what the situation is. There are 40 different loan calculators involved here that the system understands. It doesn't matter what the debt is. It can be an interest-only loan. It does not matter. And so the system knows how to eliminate the bulk of the interest that's even in an interest-only loan. All we've got to be able to do is what? Pay our bills like normal. Tell the system how much income came in. Tell it what we paid out. It will see the cash flow, and it'll give you the exact instructions of what to do with it. And that was my long answer for how does it work. Okay, because you ask a total financial geek. Don't ask a financial geek a geek question. I'll go somewhere with you. And so, were there any other questions though, Precious? Were there anything else in there?
No, I think you've answered all of the questions.
Yeah, super good. Well, if there anybody else got any questions, you can put them in the chat. We're happy to go ahead and take those right now. And so, but if not, okay, what I'd like to encourage you to do is just this one thing. All right, go ahead and grab the link out of the chat. Okay, are they going to get a link in the chat?
Yeah,
Or
I
they will?
posted a link in the chat for the analysis worksheet. You can complete that, and once it's completed, at the end of it, it actually gives you an opportunity to schedule time to where that's available for you, that you can actually have a personalized demonstration of what your situation will actually look like.
Exactly. Find out for yourself how much interest you can actually cancel for yourself. Canceling that interest means you're keeping it for you. You're going to do something else with it down the road. So find out for yourself how much interest you can cancel. And if I'm going to cancel interest, the collateral benefit means that my timeline shrinks. And so I showed you a 7-year car loan would have got paid off in 2 years. That's how much interest was involved inside of that note. I showed you a rental home paid off just 2 years after your mortgage got paid off, right? And so and keeping tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars where you want them in your own pocket. So, and that's really our story. That's what we do for folks. And so, Precious, I appreciate you for inviting me. Let me tell everybody what it is that we do. I mean, we've been around forever now. But there's just a lot of folks out there today that because we don't advertise. Right. So we don't advertise. We're a bunch of financial advisors that we've already got clients, and our clients refer everybody they know to us. And so but I'm always happy to share more when we can. And it's through events like yours right here where people get to go ahead and find out that, hey, look, there's actually a better way. And because most people today, how do they live? Honestly, they look inside of their checking account every day to see if someone's robbed them. That's what they get in it all the time. They're scared to death of their money. They've got a love-hate relationship with it, basically. Even though they love it, it hates them back and does them wrong, right? Sometimes we got more month than we've got money. It's just not good. Employers are never going to pay us enough to really go ahead and get ahead. But if we know what to do with the money, okay, and again, whether it's eliminating interest or accumulating wealth, either way, if we know what to do with the money, and we will leverage technology to give us the exact move that we want so that we're never missing the move, well, then we get to have the future that we want. And like I said, 21 years in business, some of the best financial technology. When a bank tells everybody else that the financial technology is good, the financial technology is good. So so it's that good. And so I hope everybody would want to go ahead and get their own personal savings report. Yeah, we're going to, not only will we give it to you, it's going to be, like I said, if you want to schedule for yourself to find out what it, like Precious was saying, that you want to find out what, like a demonstration about what it would actually mean to you personally. What would it mean like that we can even do that for you. And so we're just here to try to help. And quite honestly, we do believe we are rescuing America, is what we believe. And so I shouted out, let people know that, hey, you can keep 50, 60, 70%. You can keep even more of the interest if you want to keep it. You just need to know how. And so the instructions are available.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you coming out. And, just to reiterate, this is the system that makes it easier. We wasn't brought up, or well, the traditional system of education doesn't tell us how to budget our money the right way. So this is a system that's done for you. So it doesn't have to be rocket science. It just needs to be something you invest in yourself and follow the steps as it shows. It's simple. It may just need a learning curve to learn the system, but it's actually showing you how to get out of debt faster. And that's the key here, making sure you have a plan and managing your money and you know where it's going. Because if you don't know where it's going, it's pretty much going the wrong places or you're not managing it well. So you definitely need to know. So to end
Sure.
on that, anything else you want to say, Rick?
No, I really hope investigate for yourself. Find out for yourself what your future can look like. Wouldn't you like to know? Wouldn't you like to know that 10 years from now? Wouldn't you like to know what 10 years from now would look like for you? Seriously. The and if you saw it and whatever it was, wouldn't you like to know that you could actually make an adjustment today to actually make that happen?
Mhm.
That's what we offer. That's exactly what we offer. I can actually tell you the day that you can retire and how much you can have in your bank account every single month. And so it's like, it's that kind of technology. So it's like, I hope that people would go ahead and want to find out more. Get the worksheet, put a few things down. No, list it out, not a few things. List each one of them out, put it on there and send it back. Let us go ahead and tell you what it can mean for you. And see what it's like to actually be in control of your money, maybe even for the very first time. Thanks for listening. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. So I've added the analysis worksheet in the chat. I'm also going to email it out to you. But again, thank you for spending your evening with us. It means a lot that you showed up for your financial future tonight. We've introduced you to the Money Max account, a powerful, proven system that's helped thousands of people take control of their money, eliminate debt faster, and start building wealth. But here's the truth. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Without a strategy like this in place, most people will continue paying more interest than they need to, feeling overwhelmed by financial decisions, wishing they had more time, more money, or more clarity. Those things don't just work out themselves. They grow over time. Just like debt and missed out opportunities. You don't have to stay in that cycle. You have a chance to change that tonight with a new direction. So if what you heard resonated with you and you don't want to wait, reach out, schedule your free analysis as I put in the chat. Get clarity, get a plan, get on a path. My name is Precious with We Inform. Who joined me today is Rick, the Money Max guy. Stay informed, stay empowered, and most importantly, choose something different. Y'all have a good night.